Welcome to Watch What Crappens. To get our videos as soon as they're released instead of waiting for a week, head over to our Patreon. That's also where you'll find our bonus episodes and our Discord community. We love you guys.
Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and joining me today is not Ronnie Karam. He is still off. He's having a wonderful, beautiful holiday for himself, as is much deserved. So in his place are two people who I just adore. Like, these are two great people. From the Elvis, Duran and the Morning Show, we have Diamond Cooper and Andrew Pugliese. How are you guys? Andrew, did I say your name correctly?
Yeah,
did I do your name correctly?
It's the same.
Pugliese. I said Pugliese. I added in an I. I apologize. As someone who has a last name who's all that people also bungle, I feel terrible that I passed along that trauma onto your name as well.
It's fine. I'll talk to my therapist later.
Thank you so much for being here both to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion episode. We just finished talking. We had a very big episode talking about the the Love Island finale and Family Day episodes. So that's on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/watchforcrappens. Andrew and Diamond were kind enough to join me both today and on Friday to break down the final two episodes of Love Island. We had a lot of fun. We have a lot of opinions. And if you want to hear them, go check that out. But in the meantime, we are here today to talk Atlanta. So first and foremost, Diamond, you have been watching the whole season. You are we all are avid Bravo fans, but Diamond, every time I've gone to Elvis, Duran in the Morning Show, and always thank you for having me. We always have first 30 minutes of just talking straight up Bravo, and we get into it each and every time. And that's why I'm very excited to have you guys both here. So Diamond, you and I get real deep, real quickly about all these things all the time. And Andrew, you are still on your journey. You are learning different shows, and yes. I am so excited for you.
Thank you. I mean, I have my favorites. My favorite is Atlanta. I started with this one. It's been a fun journey. I think I would continue the Atlanta. I'd go back.
There's a lot there.
My favorite Real Housewives, and I know I don't want to sound like the artsy kid, but Real Housewives of Vancouver is the best series of Housewives ever, period. Get Hayu, get a VPN, and go watch that one, because that is the best.
Oh, honey.
I love that.
Oh, and Miami. I like Miami too.
Okay. Redemption. I like that made you the artsy kid. I'm the artsy kid. I like Vancouver.
You wouldn't know about it. You wouldn't know about Vancouver.
Diamond. So how do you feel about Atlanta this season, Diamond?
Last season, I wanted it to be completely done. I wanted a full... No, I don't even want reboots anymore. So last season, I was like, I'm okay if it never comes back. This season was better than last season. It just missed the mark incredibly, by far. I was really happy that Porsha was back. I was happy that Shamia was there, because we've always been kind of teased by her, where it's just she's there, but then we don't really see much. And then we knew that there were things. I follow her on Instagram, or I did at one point, and I saw that, what was going on with her daughter when she had her daughter. So I'm like, I want to know more. We saw the news about Kenya very early on, so we knew that something was going to happen. I've never been a big Kenya fan, so I was kind of like, okay, great, whatever. I didn't know that I would hate Brit by the end of the season. So it's just it did something. It didn't do what it needed to do. Let's put it like that for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I actually enjoyed this season more than I thought I would. I thought it actually started off really, really well. And I think that after everything happened with Kenya, it just was, they were trying to kind of figure out what to do after that. I think that they had an idea of how the season was going to go. It got all derailed. And so they was sort of treaded water there for a few weeks. And then, Phaedra coming in at the end was she didn't do much, but she was I think what we saw was a really good energy between her and Porsha and Cynthia. A really good dynamic that was like really fun to watch. So they righted the ship a little bit. I think Angela was the find for the season, right?
10 out of 10.
10
I
out of
liked
10.
Angela a lot.
Yeah. Andrew approves. Andrew is Angela Stan.
This is my only season watching of Atlanta. So for me, I know none of the connections with anything. And as like a watcher of just this one season, like just say picking this up, just say like a soft reboot, I have to say all the characters are very fun. I like, except Brit. I like a lot of them.
Thank you.
Except Brit. I think they all work really well together. Cynthia, I feel like I want to know her. She seems so nice.
You want to know her?
Yeah, I think Cynthia seems so sweet.
Cynthia was like she was on for a really long time, and then she left because she decided to go marry someone in LA, and she thought that was the life that she was going to live. But she's back.
She's back.
All right. Well,
Cynthia, I mean, I think her as a friend is a good lane for her. She even admits it as much in this reunion. I think that's a good lane because we get to visit with Cynthia, but we don't have to be burdened with her storylines, which are not always been the most thrilling or exciting.
Really? She wasn't entertaining.
Yeah.
She was. Her husband was entertaining at one point. And then and her
Peter.
friendships were entertaining, and the fallout of both were entertaining. But then when it was time for her to carry something on her own, I don't think she clocked in the way that she should have. Yeah. Like, you know.
Yeah, she was, she's, I think some people really thrive in the friend of role. And I think that she's one of those maybe. So, but yeah, I thought like overall, I think Angela like was a great find. I think Kelli is decent. She's like very up and down. It's like I think she had a lot of promise at the beginning of the season, and then she didn't really quite deliver on it. But she sort of perked up there at the end a little bit, right? Where do you stand on Kelli Diamond?
First of all, too much screaming from this woman. I'm like, I know that you're used to yelling in the kitchen of your restaurant, but there's a mic attached to you. You have to lower the tone. It's too loud. She rubbed me the wrong way from the beginning, just because like the moment you meet Porsha, you're talking about, did you steal this? Did you steal this woman's husband? I know that that's something that we all wanted to know. And like, we wanted to see that type of conversation happen. But I think she let like social media produce her a little too much in the beginning. Like she felt like, I have to ask this question. It's going to come out. Like, just let it ride. Like, take your time. She's just teamed too much. And I'm okay without her, honestly. She wasn't the prize.
I think that like when she started off with that energy of like, I'm new, I'm not afraid to ask questions, I was actually like, okay, I'm okay with this. I mean, it was the thirsty moment for sure. But at the same time, I was like, I like that she wasn't carrying away, but she actually did start to. She then sort of just like receded into this corner of the show where she would just like make breakfast with her girls and then talk about, I'm getting divorced. Like that's some exciting bombshell new thing that's never happened on reality TV before. So I was like, show me the waffles. I've been waiting all season for her damn waffles. We finally got to see them in a Williams-Sonoma of all places. But I just felt like I'm fine with her. I felt like she just she wasn't as impactful as I would have liked. But I think that like her reunion performance was decent, good enough. Like I think she's like mid, but she's not a fail, if that makes sense.
Maybe not a fail. Not a fail. Okay.
I guess maybe we should aspire for more than like not a fail on this show. Yeah. Maybe that's the problem,
Yeah. Like when you have someone like Angela there who has a marriage that everyone is questioning, failed real estate flips and stuff like that, and she's like bringing the drama and dropping things here and there. I'm like, now that is what you call a winner.
I loved Angela. She's so funny, and I love how every situation she always seems like she's like, now what do we have here? She just always seems like she's like asking a question as she's like talking about you. Like I love. Yeah. She's very funny.
She has like a
Very-
slow burn about her. Like there's something, she
Mm-hmm.
takes her fingers, she always puts them in the air like she's saying like Mamma Mia. She's always like doing a Mamma Mia hand, but then she shakes them at you, but she's asking a question. She's like, now why would you go to the store? And I don't know what it is. Like there's something about like her slow delivery.
Yes.
That is, and like her lines are often her comebacks are often very clunky, and yet she lands them every time. They just work in a way that I just really love, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes
Loved her.
people just have it. Some Real Housewives just have an X factor where you just know you love them and you can't explain why. And you're like, yes, she is in. She's a star. Kelli, maybe one more season, right? You know?
Yeah, she better wow me next year or I'm going to start the petition.
Okay. Well, let's get into
petitioning on.
Get her out.
Lord, Jesus.
Change.org. Okay, so why don't we get into this reunion? So it starts off, we're at the studios, you know, reunion tradition, which is that we never just start with a reunion. We have to watch people walk into the reunion and watch them getting ready like it's a boxing match. So they're all arriving, and the first significant thing that happens is that Phaedra goes into Brit's dressing room and no one is there. No, Brit is nowhere to be found. And as we all know, Brit did not go to the reunion. So they're all dumbfounded. What did you think? Do you guys think that Brit should have shown up and stood in her truth, or are you happy just to be spared of Brit for an episode?
I think I think that she should have been there, especially based off of like the amount of shit that she talked all season. Like just this like I'm a tough guy type of vibe, you know, that she gave off, where she would start like really attacking them verbally, like whoever she was arguing with or anything that like bothered her in the slightest. She'd snap in a way that was like,
when you go low, I go lower.
Are we preparing for a fight? And so like I felt like this would have been her time to redeem herself. But also if I was production, she probably was a liability for them. Like, are we sure that she's not gonna do anything? But then I'm honestly happy because I can't with that nasally. I can't.
I texted
can't
you
with
the whole time I was
that.
watching.
Yeah.
The whole time I watched, I was like, is this how she really sounds the whole time? Like I can't do a whole 17 episodes of I'm just saying, I don't know. I couldn't.
I'm like,
It was bad.
It's a lot. And I think what's hard is that, like, you know, there's certain like lanes that housewives take, and she took the like you said, when you go low, I go lower lane of Brandi Glanville, Leah McSweeney maybe, and some others who've just sort of done that path where it's like, oh, they're always looking for that fight. And then they're Tamra, you know, like, oh, well, I'm just, you know, but when I'm backed into a corner, I fight, but I really love you. You know, they always have that same arc. But those people also, like, they flourish at the reunion. Like that's what they have that persona. And then at the reunion, they go nuts and they go crazy. That's almost like what they look forward to. So it's wild that she adopted that persona, or she led with that, and then was like, yeah, but I'm also can't follow this through at the reunion. Like that's supposed to be your prime forum.
I don't think that she would have what you were saying before about Angela, she's able to, like, I don't know, make her point. Even if it's not coming across right, you could still follow the plot line. I feel like when Brit is arguing, it's just so low that like that's all she knows pretty much how to do, that she couldn't make her points, and she would get very frustrated and probably just leave anyway. She would look for the moment that she could walk off the couch, and they would follow her, and it would be the Brit show that you'd be annoyed by the whole time. And nobody wants to watch that. There's like 7 other people on this cast.
Is it possible that that like State Farm told her you're not allowed to go on the reunion because they
remember she was going to get her license taken away. Like,
her license was under review for what Kenya Moore did.
I texted you about that. I'm like, this insurance business is not that serious. Like, you set up your own LLC. I know it's not that serious. You're probably petitioning on Facebook to get clients. It can't be that, like, it's not that deep.
And Angela clocked her with that whole mess. Like, she's like, they don't really do that unless it's something very serious. Like,
Brit, I don't understand what Brit is like. Brit works in insurance, but like can afford like these Bentleys or whatever. She's acting like she's balling on but she's like an insurance agent. but like nothing really has added up to like what she does and why she's so quote unquote successful at all the entire time.
The 3 toilet paper rolls and the $250 donation.
And then there was that.
Yeah.
There was that too. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they're like looking for her. She's like nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Porsha, it's 8:30 in the morning and Porsha's just like napping and not in any glam. And they're supposed to start at 9 a.m. I was like, oh, this reunion is not starting on time.
Yeah.
This is
no.
That's going to take
barefaced.
Yes.
The wig was just glued on. You could tell it hadn't even given time to sit. I'm like, Porsha, what are you doing? But then also it was hilarious because didn't she walk in still before Drew?
Yeah, I think yeah, she did.
It's like
they were all so late. Like they started this reunion at like 3 hours late, and Andy was surprisingly not upset by it. I think it's because he knew they were going to be late, so he was just like, just let me know when they're ready. Plus, they were also, let's be honest, probably trying to figure out what to do now that Brit wasn't going to be there. They had to probably rethink all the questions and the order of everything instead. So. It probably worked out well, but I loved when Porsha was lying there and she's saying how she told Brit, like, I said, like, take some magnesium. I mean, I took about 3. And Phaedra's like, don't do that. You're going to be having diarrhea. She's like, oh, is that why I have diarrhea? I don't know.
Like, what are you talking about? Magnesium for a reunion? Like,
I don't know what magnesium does, but I didn't know you were supposed to use it to treat anxiety.
Yeah, I thought it puts you to sleep. Like it helps you go to sleep. Not but I think
it's also in like Pepto-Bismol. So it settles your stomach, but it could also like work mysterious ways for other reasons. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a lot.
All wrong.
So they all come out. The dress code is like C-3PO. Everything's like gold metallics. Which, by the way, Olandria on Love Island finale night was very on trend for the Atlanta reunion. She also was wearing a gold bodice. So they all have different. They come out 3 hours late in different variations of this. Some may be more successful than others. Which ones did you think looked best, and which ones did you guys think worse, if you can remember?
Oh, Porsha definitely 10 out of 10.
Yes,
I think she looked great.
Yeah, I loved it. Shiny and gold. It was also, hers was more goldenrod as opposed to Big Bird Yellow, which is where like maybe Drew Sidora went and some others.
Another one that I liked Shamia's.
Kelli looked a mess.
Yeah, Kelli looked a mess. But the worst. Oh, I didn't like Phaedra's like headpiece and earrings. I think that took away from everything. I don't even remember what her dress looked like.
She had these big, enormous earrings that were like rainbows, but they were not. They're like these giant semicircles that were swinging around, and there were so many metallics and bangles going on that the entire reunion sounded like people like moving silverware around. Yeah. It was so clanky. Everything was clanky.
Sound editor hates to see the cast coming.
By far the worst was Drew. And I think that she needs to. She looked horrible, but she always looks horrible. And then she does. No, she does.
She does.
I think that hopefully after this, her and Porsha can mend things, because one of the worst things was her hair. And I don't know. You can't talk shit about go naked hair, and now you have to go find another hair company whose quality isn't as good. I didn't like it. I just was like, and then she tried to do like a little edge thing here.
Yeah,
and I can't.
And then her makeup everything was sort of like really, there was one point where there was like a shot of her close up, and I was just like, she just looked deranged. She looked like she had just fallen in a dumpster or something. It was crazy.
But like Big Bird's dumpster, because it's like all his feathers are all over the place. Also, has feathers ever looked good on a dress? Ever. Like, I'm not even talking about
there was someone in blue once. Who was that? I think that was Atlanta too. Was it Marlo? Yeah. It was someone.
But maybe Porsha. Maybe Porsha herself.
Yeah.
Well, there was a cast photo once where they were. I don't remember. By the way, just to check in. So Andrew, since you're new, you don't have the full breadth of Drew Sidora, but Diamond, where do you stand on Drew Sidora?
Can't stand her. I want her gone. I wanted her gone last season. And this, I used to love Drew Sidora, right? She was in Step Up as Drew Sidora. She was in The Game as Drew Sidora. So like, I've been a fan of hers. When she first signed on to do the show, I was like, oh, okay, like great. Like she's going to be great. And then maybe like episode 4 of last season, I was like, yeah, hard no for me, because you realize that she's a liar. She has lied so much. She's been caught in all her lies, but yet she still continues to double down. And it's just like, I don't want this. Like, I can't. Yeah, and I didn't like her working with Dennis. I didn't like it. And so hot dog
purveyor turned music producer Dennis. Yes,
which is also kind of scammy. But you know what? I love a short king, so I'm gonna stand beside him a little bit in this.
Okay,
but like I felt like it was a little messy. Like Portia's kind of putting money in your pocket, and
Drew is very
weird.
messy. I have felt like Drew has been a scam artist for a while. Really, I think it really kicked in with the with her Drop It with Drew endeavor, where she was like, I lost 60 pounds in 1 week, and I was like, okay, you are a scammer. And I was like you, I was like, Drew has to go. But I think I've come around to realize that like, one of the fun parts of these shows is having those deluded scammers on, and when they just like spin their bullshit and just like laugh at them, like you are so, because she's so bad at it, like she's so blatantly, like she blatantly lies. Also, I did take a little offense, Diamond, in what you said. You mentioned her credits. You said that she was in Step Up and The Game. I think you forgot Todd Tucker's The Pass as Drew Sidora.
Todd Tucker's. Oh, where she started dating, what's her? They were friends, Ty. Oh, we're just friends. Please pack it up. I can't with this woman.
There was the one divorce scene, and she's like, he wants 40% of my LLC. In my head, I often feel like whenever the housewives like throw a business in someone's face and they're like, they want 40% of my LLC. How much is in this LLC is my question. And what is and it's Drew Sidora LLC. So she named her own company after herself. But what's being licensed? Like, I have so many questions.
I'm not sure what recently is, but if she's getting any sort of like royalties or getting any percentages from those movies, she has been in a lot of movies, like sort of that you don't realize.
I watch The Game religiously to this day, so she's making money off of me for sure.
If it's anything like Elvis's checks from Die Hard, that man gets 2 cents.
No, babe, she's getting more than that.
I don't think he needs an LLC for that one.
Well, at the very least, she's definitely getting her salary from this very show in there. And Ralph is a whole other issue, and we will get to him because he, of course, makes a cameo. It's not a good reunion until Ralph shows up. So we start with Andy, who does his typical thing where he's like, welcome to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm Andy Cohen. Now, after 16 years, Atlanta has always reigned supreme, but this season came with a bit of a facelift, a remix, and a whole new vibe. One of our juiciest peaches made her grand return. 4 new peaches hit the group chat. 1 OG clocked out. Another clocked in. A peach fell on the floor. A peach rolled off the cart, and someone else stepped on a peach. It started off spicy, got sweet, then spicy more, and then stayed shady all the way. It like goes on for like 10 minutes. I'm like, we get it. We're back at the reunion. We understand.
His ChatGPT was working overtime for that intro.
So now, since Brit wasn't there, I got the distinct feeling that they had to fill up so much time with like meaningless patter. It was like, hey, Shamia, how are you? She's like, I'm good. Good to see you, Shamia. So how's your car doing? Did you get new mats in it for your feet? Yes, I did. Oh, that's great. Where'd you get those mats? Hey, Porsha, what do you think about Shamia's mats in her car? It's like, it felt like it was like endless, like, chatter. By the way, I was also really happy with Shamia's hair at the reunion because I did not like her hair all season long. I felt like it was like very matronly, and I wanted her to like look like she's trying to break into singing. Like, don't look so matronly,
That bob, that shortcut, it wasn't it.
I didn't love it. It was like fine as like a general look, but I just wanted her to be like a little bit more chic. Because I love me some Shamia, or at least I have historically loved her. And so I just want her to be like a little more,
Yeah, the bob last night she ate that. She ate it up. It looks really good.
She definitely ate it. She ate it like a peach. So Andy's like, oh, Shamia from +1 to the 1. And she's like,
that was so corny.
Yeah. And then of course. And she's like, I mean, that's what they say. And he's like, do they say that? I'm like, I love Andy. Like immediately he's like, I'm going to call you this thing. And then I'm going to act like no one's ever, and then I'm going to totally retract it. Like, do people ever say that to you? It's like, you just said it, Andy.
Yeah, literally.
So he goes around the horn. He says hi to everyone. Angela has her fan. I think she's selling those fans now, right? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, Angela's.
I may buy it. I may buy
one too. And Andy asked Kelli if she brought any chicken and waffles. I was like, I'm not even sure she owns a waffle iron at this point.
I don't think so.
I don't think she knows how to do it. What sort of lazy self-promotion has Kelli been doing all season? Like there should have been waffles everywhere. It should not have been one episode late in the season. It should have been, she made so many meals with her kids. Every single thing coming out of that kitchen should have been a waffle. I don't care what time of day it was. It should have been waffles nonstop.
Or at least get a Cricut machine that you could put like your logo on things. I don't know, just like product placement, something.
Order waffle fries, something. Get something with a waffle.
God, yes.
Do you remember? I don't know. This is really specific. Andrew won't know this, but Diamond, maybe you will. Yeah, sorry. There was one season where Sheree went to meet someone at like a breakfast spot, and she's like, she was asking the waitress, she's like, what's a womlet? They're like, it's a waffle omelet. She goes, I'll have that. And that's always stuck with me. That Sheree got a womlet. She got an omelet that was made in a waffle iron. And I always thought that was so funny. And so Sheree too. Because, like all day long, she was like, I just had a womlet. You ever heard of a womlet before? You have a womlet? You ever had a womlet?
Did you hear what they referenced her about Kelly's waffle?
Oh my God.
Thing?
Yes.
Summer.
They're like, when is that coming out? Spring, summer. That's always bad. When someone pulls that joke out on you, it's like, haha, it's a joke, but they're basically telling you, yeah,
it's not happening.
You're not doing what you need to be doing right now, So Andy's like, well, as you may have noticed, Brit Eady has decided not to join us today. And they keep on highlighting this because they keep on doing this wide shot of the other sofa with all this negative space where Brit was supposed to be. Like, and at one point they just do like a close up of a pillow, just an empty seat with a pillow. It's like, Brit, does the pillow of Brit have anything to say? Were you looking forward to Brit reclining on you? No? Okay.
What seat would she have been on the couch?
Well, they left a spot at the end.
Oh, so she would have been the end.
Yeah.
She would have been the end after it would have been Porsha and then what's her face? Phaedra and then Brit. Yeah, because Phaedra was nice to Brit. So I think that's where they would have had her. And then Brit could have gone up against Kelli that way, face to face. But yeah, she decided not to join. And so Andy asks like what everyone's thoughts are. And Kelly's basically saying, well, she caused mass destruction in our friend group. She plays victim and villain at the same time. And Phaedra's saying how like, we're a sisterhood. We're in a sorority together. And, if she wasn't comfortable enough to call me, like whatever, but like whether you like it or not, we're in a sisterhood. But isn't it funny because like didn't Phaedra also just like quit Married to Medicine like mid-season?
She did. Yes, she did. Which is why her being on this season was the real flop. Like, she literally said that she only filmed 10 days with these women, and so like, what was the point? Yeah, what was the point?
So the whole end of the season, like the last 6 episodes, are all just from 10 days.
Yeah, she basically went on vacation with him and then shot like 2 scenes. Like, yeah, which is, it also says like, clearly you see how they had to amend their shooting schedule because of everything with Kenya, which is why the whole season got messed up. I always have a theory that when someone gets fired or someone leaves midway through, it messes up the entire season because they plan out like every beat of a season. They know exactly what they want to happen. So when they have to like think on the fly, it's like a disaster. But yeah, so no one knew that she wasn't going to come, and and everyone's like upset because they were going to like, they basically wanted to confront her about all her lies and all her bullshit, but she obviously, and by the way, there's no like better admission of guilt than not showing up at the reunion. And once you do that, then it's like not showing up at court. You're just automatically guilty of everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. And then the whole like, I'm suing the network and stuff. Like, girl, please.
Yeah.
Like, please.
Well, she's saying that like it wasn't even her on the posters, but she's suing the network because the network Bravo made her think it was her. And so the distress of that what created a hostile work environment.
What?
Which,
That's great.
Apparently, so our friend Ceci, who does the Bravo Docket podcast, she said like, yeah, it's actually like she does have some grounds there, some legal grounds, but I still think she's bullshit, full of bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that from a FedEx Kinko's poster board. Jeez.
Yeah. Be careful. Be careful what you put on your foam core, you know. Do you guys do you think that Kenya should come back next season, or do you think that what she did was just like too awful?
I don't think she should come back. I do think what she did was awful.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Bravo does need to take some of the blame because they've allowed her to do things the entire time that she's been on the show that have like, I feel like we could have seen this coming. It's been a buildup. She showed us who she was a long time ago. I don't think that we thought that she would go as far as she did, but the signs were always there. So like, do I blame her for thinking that this was another thing that she could get away with? Maybe not. If they let her get away with so much in the past, like she's gonna test those boundaries, right? So like, and she had a lot of stuff to say when Nene left, and then she tried to, you know, spin the block now last summer, and you know, try to stir up the same type of argument. Oh, if this was a white housewife, then, you know, she would have gotten a pass. And I'm like, you don't get to do that when you turned your back on Nene when she was trying to make that point or case. So, yeah, no, I think that she should be exactly where Nene is, you know, somewhere off camera. Somewhere
off camera. Somewhere out there, as Linda Ronstadt once sang. So, Porsha. Yes, I did just equate Kenya to Fievel and his sister. So, so then like it's like 10 minutes of this patter. And then finally Andy is like, okay, now we're going to start. But first, does anyone want to set an intention? Because this is what he does now at reunions. Does anyone want to set an intention? Which is hilarious because all the intentions are always bullshit. It's like, I would like to set an intention that I can stop being so great and I can listen to other people. There's always these very self-serving intentions, but like, sure. And so Porsha is saying that she wants to set an intention today to honor who we are and where we are in whatever space, which literally means nothing to me. What does that even mean?
Not a damn thing. Not a damn. I'm like, girl, sit down. Like, stay where you are and just. And
Portia's like, she's like, I'm really here to figure out like what's going on and the way forward and how we're gonna like close the door. Porsha literally says that with every like sit down scene she has with someone, and she always storms out every single time. So the fact that she's saying, I want to like just really hear the issues and close the door, I'm like, why do I feel like that's not really going to happen this time?
It's a fun house. There's many doors, and she just keeps closing them.
Why do we take anything that she says like peace talk wise? Why do we take that seriously after the way she behaved on her spinoff? Like, you tried to fight your child's grandmother. Girl, I don't want to hear about peace talks and peace treaties and shit. Like, go away. Like, I can't.
Yeah. So now we go to commercial break, and when we come back, it's like, welcome back. We just spent 10 minutes saying hello to everyone, and we had a commercial break when there was not even a cliffhanger. So the fact that you came back is amazing. Let's give a warm welcome to the best friend Real Housewives of Atlanta has ever had, which is, by the way, disrespectful to both Shamia and to Marlo. The one and only Cynthia Cheekbones Bailey. Great to see you. Wow. Marlo and Shamia put in years in the friend of bench. And Cynthia does one season, like 3/4 of the season, and is like, "You're the best friend we ever had on the show ever. You did it so effortlessly."
Please.
So she's back. They put her on the bench. She's probably out way earlier than she was expected, but they're like, "Bring it. We don't have anyone. Like, bring out Cynthia."
Can't keep shooting that same couch cushion.
Yeah, because she sits there and then she says almost nothing for the rest of the episode. But they're like, there's too much negative space on our two shots, so. So Andy, she said, she says she actually really loved being a friend of, because she's like, I've been through so many different things that people are going through. I've been through divorce, and I've been married, and I've been through friendship breakups, and I was able to be supportive. And I was like, yes, and you were boring through all of those things too.
Literally.
Beautiful but boring.
I loved her. She was so fun on the show.
I bet you did.
I need to go back and rewatch these older seasons just to see, like,
she was much better as a friend of. She really, I feel like she really came more to life as a friend of. I think that as a main cast member, sometimes it was a real struggle. She had moments. She had moments. She was very likable. But every time I was like, oh, we're going to have a Bailey cue, I was just like, oh God, back to the lake house.
Yeah. Like Bailey. Come on.
Like Bailey. It just didn't really go off the same way as Chateau Charest, So they talk a bit about her and her man, Amsterdam, etc., and how she's older. He's 39, and I have a thing where I don't really care too much about people we never see.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they ask questions about love interests who are off camera and then we've never seen them ever before, I don't generally get into that.
Yeah. Nobody cares, right? Because I think that we're conditioned now to feel like, well, if it didn't happen on the show, then it's not real, right? Remember the Africans? Okay, we have no clue who they are. So let it go,
Yeah.
I can't. And this guy doesn't even live in America. What are we doing?
So now we go to so now after we have check-in with Cynthia, Andy is like, okay, well, this season was really meant to be your happily ever after, Porsha, but after filing for divorce from your would-be Prince Charming and getting sucked back into some drama with the hot dog king, you did everything you could to protect your kingdom and most of all your peace. Here's how that worked. I was like, whoa. I was waiting for a pun to drop. It's funny because I make fun of Andy for all his sweaty puns all the time. But then when there isn't one, I'm like, wait a second.
Where is it?
Where is the pun? I guess the Prince Charming and Happily Ever After and a kingdom. Maybe they're trying to build a fairy tale thing in there a little bit.
Yeah, it's almost there.
Sure.
I'll give him some marks. Solid B.
Okay. Solid B. So we're in the Porsha segment. So she talks about her cousin Londi, which is so sad about Londi.
Sad. I felt bad.
Yeah, that was really that was terrible. And then Andy is saying how it was really great to see Porsha's house. I feel like the Porsha's house storyline felt a little half-baked to me this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
We opened up the season with her being upset that she couldn't film in her own house. And then we kind of dropped that thread. And then in the season finale, out of nowhere, we had this little coda where she's like, by the way, guess what? I can film in my house again. Felt a little ham-fisted. What did you think, Diamond?
And then she's at the house and she's just walking on her treadmill in the finale.
Yeah.
With makeup on.
All this build up for her treadmill?
Finally, you can see my routine.
I think what they tried to do, especially because I read her book and there were certain things in her book that she, I guess, couldn't talk about on the show, but you saw it happening. So early on when she left, not when she left Cordell, but when she was put out, I guess, basically, when they got a divorce, she said that she had to rent the house to film in. That was quote unquote her mom's house. They didn't have money for it or whatever. So I guess a part of her personal storyline is there's always a house situation. Remember the mat when she finally did buy this house, the mat was too small and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, of course.
I think that's personal to her for some reason, but I don't think that she realizes that we don't care.
It wasn't translated to us in a way. It wasn't presented to us with emotional stakes like that. It was just kind of oh, yeah, that sucks that she can't film in her house.
It's okay, go somewhere else. Also, why are we fighting over homes? You have the means to just go and move and start life over since you really want to start over. Girl, let it go. To be fair, as the season went on, I could understand why she was upset she couldn't film in her home, because it was her other options were to go to Brit Eady's cramped townhome or Kelly's one-bedroom apartment. So I'm you know what? Maybe there's something to it. She's I am a celebrity. I do not want to film in these small spaces. I have a living room. There is Shamia's place that has the elevator in it as well. Sick.
But
the house is amazing.
Shamia's got some real money. And I feel like it's like real money. You know, a lot of times on these shows, we were just talking about right before we started recording, we talked about the new girl on Miami, Stephanie. You know, there are these people that come on who are very wealthy, but you kind of feel like they are harboring huge amounts of like debt and bankruptcy and lawsuits. Like that's just like hidden off camera. But I feel like with Shamia, I feel like that money is like solid. You know, that's like air conditioner money. That's like
obscure jobs. If your husband has an obscure job title, if he's a porta potty person who cleans the porta potties, if he's the person that like, I don't know, puts the seats in movie theaters, they have real money because they're the first in. Who else
real
owns
estate?
porta potties?
Real estate. I'm not like I'm. It's there's grift going on there. You know. Air conditioners at the largest airport in the country. That elevator there's money for that elevator and all the repairs it will ever need. Okay.
Hello.
It's a Wonka elevator. It goes up, down, left, right. She could fly around her house all over the place. That's the type of money they have.
It is a Wonka original. Okay. Air conditioner money. That's how you get through in life. So I'm happy for Shami on that. I think she has that real money there. So they start talking about the divorce from Simon, and there's like a little bit of a squabble between Porsha and Kelli because Porsha compares her divorce to Kelly's, saying it was like a phantom divorce, and then Kelli starts getting a little flustered, like, our divorces are not the same. We do not have the same divorces. We're not the same. You can't talk about it. We're not the same, which is funny because she spent all season talking about how her divorce was like, she kept comparing her divorce, using her divorce to relate to other people, to be like, you know, Drew and I, we're basically having the same divorce, you know? So now suddenly she's like, no, I have a distinct and unique divorce. We have a waffle up for debate. I'm not sure when I'm going to get my waffle iron back from this man. You don't know what the pain I've gone through.
I have to wait for Black Friday for a new one. It's not fair.
So then also we talk about Simon being detained by ICE, which I didn't realize had already happened by the time this reunion happened. That's crazy that Simon is being detained by ICE right now. I'm assuming he's still in there, right? We haven't heard that he got out, right?
No, he's out.
Oh, he's out? Oh.
And I think he's in Dubai now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder how that, how can you still, how does that work with the divorce if your partner got deported? I mean, I guess Teresa Giudice did it, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
The original, the real pioneer of Bravo deportation, Joe Giudice.
Oh.
Yeah,
that woman.
If he comes back into the does he owe her money?
I think she gets something, no?
She gets something. I'm at whatever it is, things have to be ironed out, you know? And I don't know if like, if the person you're divorcing gets sent to another country, can they just be like, whatever, good luck, see you later?
Yes, that is true. Because someone I know, their ex-husband fled the country, and only recently did they serve him papers at a music festival, but it took 3.5 years for him to come back in the country.
Oh no, we would have to fight.
But he owed
I'm not gonna
him,
hold my life up like that.
He owed him like so much money that like you can't tell Dubai, oh, make me get this check from this man. They're gonna be like, what?
Yeah, you can't extradite. I think that if you flee the country or like while someone's now, and to be fair, Simon did not flee the country. He was deported because we're living in this state right now of like ICE doing this to people.
Super cool.
But I think it actually, in this case, it probably worked out for him in terms of like a divorce situation, because now he could be like, okay, I don't want to have to deal with this. But and I'm not saying it worked out for him in all situations, because it's still, you know, terrible what's happening. But I do think though that if you flee the country during a divorce, I think it should be like not showing up at the reunion. I think it's like, okay, you're automatically guilty. You forfeit everything.
Yeah,
I think that should be a law. If you willingly leave, and again, Simon did not willingly leave, but it's like if you're out of the country for a certain amount of time, not tending to your divorce, then you just forfeit it all. Maybe that is a law somewhere.
Hopefully,
I'm glad we're figuring things out on this episode. We're really getting to
some lawyers definitely listening, and it's just like wrong.
Yeah, this is 100% happening. There are people in our audience listening to be like, these idiots right now talking like they have any idea what's going on and making light of a very serious situation of deportation. But yeah, and Porsha does address that people are saying that she called ice on him, and she's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Like that's it's not a funny thing for me at all, you know? So then Andy asks if Gerald and Simon were buddies, and Shamia saying that they were like couples friends, you know? But like, she's like, you know, is he a scammer or anything like that? Like whatever, like, you know, I don't know, whatever. So, Andy now takes an audience question. He's like, James from Jersey says, Kelli, why did you really want validation from Porsha to see if she messed with that lady's husband? Were you asking out of concern or to be messy? And Kelli says, this is referencing when she said, why did you take that woman's husband? Kelli says, I was definitely asking out of concern.
You knew she was asking to be messy.
You cannot say you were asking out of concern. You just met this person and you're going to say you were asking out of concern. Please, Kelli.
Concern for who? Fallon? She has moved on to her own new mess. Like, what are we talking about?
You know what's... Every time I think of Fallon, I always think of her in her Halloween costume. Remember her Halloween costume where she was like in scale? She was like in scales. She was like Medusa, and she was running around with a golf club. And like that's all I think about with Fallon is like everything time I think about Fallon being wronged as a wife, I just think of her as Medusa with a golf club, like chasing after someone.
When they had to like pin her down in the garage, I'm like, and this is the woman that we're like literally fighting for.
I need to watch that because that sounds entertaining.
Oh, honey,
that was a wild episode. Well, that was also where, by the way, Kenya got into trouble, was that episode, because she came dressed like a Native American, and she caused quite the stir with that. And she had to issue a whole formal apology and do the whole, you know, my culture is not my costume thing, like an awareness of that, yada, yada. And so, yeah.
Has she ever left the show prior to that? Or has she been on the show since the beginning?
She left for a season because she decided to get married and keep it off of the show.
Weird.
I
guess she was looking for a spinoff.
You know what? She could have been, but
I think she was looking actually for. I think she was looking for her fairy tale. I think she was desperate to get married and have a child, and she was like, "I will sacrifice the show if I have to do that." And then she, of course, got attached herself to a true troll of a man, and it's a good lesson why don't sacrifice your standards just because you have an idea of how you want to live, like what you want in your life.
And also don't talk shit about other people's situations because you never know the cards you'll get dealt. She talked so much shit about people. She did things that could have compromised people's marriages and stuff like that. You don't play around with stuff like that. Clark it.
She really, really did. And I think that like Mark really kind of ruined Kenya as a reality star because she then got dragged into a prolonged custody battle where she had to be on best behavior. So she couldn't really even be the villain that she was so good at being. And I think she lost her touch in those intervening years. So then when she came back for this season, she just really messed up and flopped and it was a disaster.
All for him to be in the background of her lives now. I'm like, what is going on here? What happened to his girlfriend that she claimed that I don't get it.
He was terrible. So Kelli is trying to claim that she was asking this question out of concern, but she also feels like Porsha did not really love Simon, and Porsha she's just kind of but we had a conversation about this. So why now all of a sudden you're acting like this out of nowhere? But then they're again comparing divorces and stuff. And basically Kelli is like, do not compare our divorces. It's not okay. You're comparing apples to peaches. Apples, you get it? Because we're on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Peaches. You see what I did there? Peaches.
Oh, she snapped for herself.
She was so proud. She was really proud of her apples to peaches moment there, you know. And she's like, just don't compare our divorces. And he's like, okay, no one really cares about this. So anyway, at Poopy Face from Twitter says, Porsha, people think you stole a cast member's husband. So why would you say you would fuck Angela's husband. She's like, well, let me apologize again. I mean, even though when you found out about it, we talked to Cynthia's event, Angela apologized to me because she brought the Simon situation, but let me apologize again. And Angela's like, no, what I said was I didn't drag it. You were the first person to ask about Charles. And you said, I know something about your husband. And so in Nashville, I said, why did you take that woman's husband? And Shamia said she introduced you to Simon. And then this turns into a random thing about Shamia denying that she introduced them. And Shamia was like very adamant. Like, I did not introduce them whatsoever. Why was this a sticking point for Shamia, do you think?
I don't know, because there's clear footage of her saying that she introduced
Well, she said she was
them.
there. No, she said she was in the footage. She said I was there when they met, but she didn't say she didn't actually say that she was the one who introduced. She just said that she was there when they met. But I also didn't understand. What does it matter? Like if she introduces them or not?
I don't know. Did you see when I think Andy clocked in, he's like, well, was this a lie that you guys came up with to make it seem like, because they talked about it on the show in the past.
Yeah.
They said that Shamia introduced them. And I thought that like Shamia had said, yeah, introduced them. But it's weird. Like,
but then Andy asks Porsha, did Shamia introduce you to Simon? And Porsha takes like a really long beat and she almost doesn't know how to answer it. And then she's like, listen. And he's like, wait, what? Wait, did she introduce you? Like, what's going on here? And yeah, you're right. Andy's basically like, well, did you guys come up with like a cover story to hide the fact that you got into his DMs? And then they're like, there's a lot of like back and forth on that. And so then Porsha then at that point is like, no, I definitely I got introduced to him and it happened. Okay. It happened. Let's just move on. So maybe there was something fishy going on here.
It had to have been because like, I don't know.
It seemed like such a small point for them to be like stumbling over, like for Shamia to be all of a sudden denying. And it seems like Shamia and Porsha are not in a good place. So now I feel like Shamia no longer wants to cover for Porsha, which is why she's like, I did not introduce them whatsoever.
Oh, see, I didn't even think of it like that. I thought that she was like being a good friend. Like, I'm not going to tell on you. Oh. But I don't know. It's just very weird. And for it to be something that was so like, this is not a big deal at all. So why are you making it a big deal? Now we have to pay attention, you know?
The cover up is worse than the story.
Yeah.
Like
there was a part of me
that is cringe.
Yeah, I got the feeling like this reunion, like I felt like this episode, there was a lot of like sort of small potatoes fights where I was like, oh, I don't know why we're sort of squabbling about this stuff, but I was like trying to follow. I was like, okay, so Kelly's mad that she's comparing her divorce to hers, and now Shamia's mad that she's being accused of introducing Porsha to Simon. But like, I'm not sure if I understand like what the why it all matters, you know? Right. I was like, I felt like we were just like filling in space because Brit wasn't there a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
So then, okay, well, Maxine from Boulder said, Drew, you said on a recent podcast that Porsha's return was a flop and a tryhard, which coming from Drew says a lot. I mean, like, she's the queen flop, Drew. Right? I know. Andrew, actually, is it because you guys share a name? Is that why?
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Andrew, tell us, what do you like about Drew?
I feel like she is like a Heather Gay almost, where she like, I think she knows how to keep the plot moving. Like she will put herself in the line of fire. She will make herself look like a goof if it progresses the plot. Mind you, should she be doing that? Because then you can ask a lot of questions about what she's doing in her day to day. I think that she knows how to play like she's in on the joke.
Oh.
Do you know who's going to be very happy to hear that? Drew Sidora. Drew Sidora.
Oh. Because you fell for it.
Drew, you go.
I think that was the point.
Like Drop it with Drew.
She wanted to do that, But I don't think she realizes that, like, if we are laughing, we're not laughing with her. We're laughing at her. Like, you are so full of bullshit that it's like everybody sees through it besides you.
Those are the characters I love watching on reality television. They are oblivious to how they're actually coming off. They have the impression in their head that they are like, I don't know, Drew Sidora LLC. It apparently has bajillions of dollars that she can't have 40% going away from. But in reality, it's like she went on LegalZoom and registered her name. Like, it's not a corporate entity that's being traded on the New York Stock Exchange.
You never know. You never know.
So true.
So then Drew is Drew basically is like, Porsha came on this season. She came back here to attack me the entire season. To which Porsha says, I mean, she should be worried about who's flipping and flopping in that basement with Ralph. Don't worry about me. Which, by the way, one of my favorite things about this season is that, like, we have an entire storyline of Ralph being stuck in the basement.
Can I come upstairs? Like, what?
Like,
so
honestly,
bizarre.
for that alone, like, the season was kind of worth it. Just like Ralph stuck in the basement, and every time they'd mention Ralph, they would just like put the camera on the basement staircase, like, he's down there.
Sick.
Very bizarre.
Sick.
Yeah.
So Andy asked, like, Porsha, did you really think Drew was sleeping with Dennis for beats? She's like, oh, no. Because she knows Dennis doesn't really have beats. I'm still confused why Dennis is in the music producer position. I mean, he's a hot dog salesman. How did he wind up as this, like, celebrated producer that Drew Sidora just had to work with? Do you trust Dennis's music? And have you heard any of Drew's new album?
I heard snippets, just like a post on Instagram or whatever. It doesn't sound bad. She has an amazing voice. Like, Drew can really sing, but I'm just not buying it. Like, I'm just like, girl, no, you know.
I mean, honestly, like, when they had her sing that song to Ralph at the reunion, that was
top 10 moments of Atlanta all time, and there are a lot of moments, but that.
It was such a contrived moment, but it was so worth it. And the fact that they always bring that out, they always cut to her singing, and then they always end the clip with that close up on Ralph's face where he's like, every single time he's like, what am I doing?
And then didn't Candy say you're gonna sing it in front of him or something like that? Oh my God, it was the best.
So they're basically asking, like, Drew, like, what the hell? Like, why? Like, of all the producers, she's like, look, this is the business that I operate in. So there's no mistaking. Like, this wasn't just a homie hookup. We actually conducted real business. The real business that happens when a singer gets in front of a mic and a man who sells hot dogs tells her what song to sing. This, not only is he invited to the cookout, he's actually providing the cookout. Okay. He is the one.
I'm like, all this for Dennis? Dennis?
So, yeah, she's really like this. The Dennis storyline is like a wild one for me, just because
it's insane.
It's just like Atlanta has a lot of music producers. Like there's big major ones that are out there, and Dennis is the worst that she could find.
Yeah, like, huh?
Yeah. But I don't think that they were really having sex or having any sort of relationship. It definitely did seem very platonic to me, you know?
Yeah, but then my thing is, like, Drew, you signed up for the storyline regardless because you knew that working with Dennis, especially after finding out that Porsha was coming back, whenever they found out, you know, I don't know what the timelines are. I don't know if she started working with him before Porsha said that she was coming back or before that news broke or after, but you knew that this was going to be a storyline, right? Like, you knew that even if Porsha didn't feel away, then another cast member would kind of make it a thing and, like, kind of force Porsha to feel away. So it's like, what did you expect?
Yes.
And then the idea of just, like, them so openly talking about each other's quote unquote storylines, I'm like, we have lost the goddamn plot. I can't. Like, come on.
The minute I feel storyline is mentioned by a housewife, they got to get, like, They got to go.
Well, they said it about 15
although at the
times
same time,
last night.
I thought it was actually kind of refreshing that they didn't like mask their frustration with some fake thing, because that would happen for years, where like people are actually mad at each other because of something that's happening with production, but they have to say like, you didn't eat all my I brought shrimp cocktail to your house and you didn't eat it, and they have to like pretend like this is the feud, but they're not really angry about that. So I do kind of like at least being more honest with the audience. But yeah, you know, if you don't have more stuff going on than like how you're actually filming the show that we're watching, it's not always a great sign. But to be fair, Porsha does give Drew credit. She says that like her album is like really, really good. And Porsha, it's like but it's really just a setup to air a grudge, because she's like, you know, I would never come down on your brand or who you are in your town the way you did at the Breakfast Club. So you can congratulate your fellow iHeart coworkers over there for stirring the pot to some degree, or providing a forum for that for this issue, because apparently Drew went on to the Breakfast Club and talked shit about Portia's brand.
She talked shit about Go Naked Hair. I just like.
Were you guys
when she was there? You were literally like, oh my God, I just found out all the gossip.
I was going to ask, were you there? Were you there when Drew Sidora came into because Breakfast Club is just down the hall from you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And a lot of them don't watch Housewives. So they text me. I know. They text me like a week before and they were like, hey, we have Drew Sidora coming up. Like, is there anything that a Bravo watcher really wants to know? I said, yeah, why the fuck does she lie so much? Like, I'm like, write it down, ask her these questions, because this is sick. So when she did come in, they were like texting me things, and then I walked over there and I could like see portion of it. But like, Drew did exactly what Porsha, like, she fell into the trap, you know, and so she gave Porsha something to talk about. But like, Drew
just like
just
Bonnie
continues to lie. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, but you know, at the same time, Drew is like working for her. She's working for her money. She's like, well, I know this is gonna be messy. I'm gonna say this on the Breakfast Club right now, one of like the biggest platforms that are out there, knowing that it's gonna start a feud, and then I'll be in a relevant storyline with one of the stars of the show, and I will somehow make it onto yet another season. Because at first, when Drew came back for like a second season, I was shocked. I was like, really, to bring back Drew Sidora, especially after that ridiculous storyline she had about like, there's a Prophet Locke. I know a prophet. Yes. And like, there was a storyline, Andrew, there was a whole storyline where there was this prophet who was off camera. And like at the very end of the season, they tacked on the storyline about like, there's a prophet who I think was having an affair with this woman, LaToya. And I was like, this random ass storyline that then took over the reunion. And I was like, this girl has to go. And then they brought her back. I was like, really? But then I start to realize she's so delusional that like, she just works as a housewife, you know?
She can push the narrative forward. And that's what you need on these shows. When they stay in the back and talk about the shrimp cocktail, it's not fun. She'll keep pushing it forward. And that's a good act. That's a good actor and character.
So Porsha and Drew are like squabbling this entire reunion. And so, okay, well, we've got a question from a Diet Coke can in Ohio who says, Porsha, now that you've seen the season, do you think you owe Drew an apology for the way you treated her? Because from what we saw on the show, the relationship between her and Dennis was all business. So I'm thinking Porsha would be like, absolutely not, because she knew my boundaries. Instead, Porsha like wipes off her pants and stands up and is like, she's like, come on. I thought she was going to walk off the stage. I thought she was angry, but she goes. Me too. It's a classic Real Housewives twist out of reunion when out of nowhere someone stands up and is like, let's hug. And she pulls the let's hug card right here on Drew. I did not see this. I was like, wait, you guys were just fighting 5 seconds ago and now you're hugging? You know what? What did you take from this moment from Porsha Diamond?
That she's bored. Literally, she's bored of it, and I get it, but like when she sat back down and she's like, she said she wasn't in a good space and blah blah blah, and she apologized, and I'm like, I get it, right? Like she said it didn't make her feel good to watch the season back and see like how far the little petty argument that it all started from went. I think she's bored. I don't think that Porsha really ever cared, but it was more of like, either for the show or I guess principle wise, like, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm very territorial. If you brought my child's father, I don't have any children, but if you brought my child's father on my show, like, you know, like it's my show too, right? He's a part of my storyline. You don't get to like sneakily film with him and make it seem like you guys aren't as close as you are. You're close enough to film with each other, right? So like, I wouldn't have, it would have been war forever, but I'm happy that she got over it and she was like, just based off of the principle, don't do that. Because now I'm going to film with Ralph. How about that?
Yeah. And I like that Andy was like, so that was to be petty. She's like, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was just being petty. Even though she denied all season. Oh no, I was totally being petty. Yeah, 100%. But I have to say, my theory, the reason why she made up with Drew so much, I think she was bored. I think she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. But she's also like, I'm going up against Shamia this reunion. Like, I'm fighting with Shamia. I can't battle on two fronts. I need to like, let's like nip this in the bud. Let me make her my new ally, because I've got to save my real energy for Shamia. This stuff I don't care about. So I think she was like building an ally. She was recruiting to her team, and she was like, I don't want to be in a fight with Drew. Like, being in a fight with Drew is like, it's very like low rent. I want to fight with Shamia. Shamia is like a fellow rich person. Drew is like, Drew is not a rich. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight with Drew. She's just not like, you want to go where the glamour is, right?
Yeah. And
it's like not exciting to fight with Drew.
Good. Yeah, Drew is boring. She's boring. Like, you know, besides the lies, you know that she's going to lie. It's getting to the point where it's like, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. What else can you give me? But with Porsha and Shamia, this is going to be a good
It's going to be good. Rich lady fight. We like that. We want rich lady fights. It's like fighting with like, you know, like a perfectly fine ranch home. That's like fighting with Drew. So you want to fight with a mansion. You want to have a mansion fight. Not like you know, respectable 3-bedroom, you know.
That's why Monica was a one and done.
Suburban.
What are you fighting? It's very suburban.
We don't. We want mansion versus mansion, not mansion versus suburban home. Okay. So Andy's like, okay, cool. Didn't see that happening. Okay. Well, Kelli, when you joined this friend group with Brit, you came into the season inseparable to the point where you were like finishing each other's sentences, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention, didn't know who was talking in the first place. And now we get into like what happened with Kelli and Brit, because they had a big falling out, which Ronnie and I both clocked, because we're like, they're spending way too much time in Nashville talking about this stylist and why this Kelli mentioned so many times why the stylist was great, and she lent the stylist. We're like, this is not going to end well, especially because stylists are messy. Stylists and makeup people, they're the messiest people on these shows each and every time. Joey Maloof and Sutton Strack, we remember.
They're just waiting to be mentioned in the cameras. They're texting everybody. Oh my God, all the gossip. You just know that the minute they're filming something, all of that is going to all their friends, and that feeds into the blogs.
And speaking of Heather Gay, let's not forget who allegedly was like part of unmasking Reality Von Teese was Heather's own like hair person. Yep. Right?
Yep.
If we're to believe that. So Kelli basically says like, yeah, this like stylist thing, like, I let her use my stylist, and I have a whole team. Not really clear why Kelli has a whole team, but she has a whole team.
Yeah, I don't get it. To have a whole team and still look a mess every time that camera is on you, I don't understand it. That money needs to be saved and put away for her, legal fees, because this is crazy.
Or a waffle iron. Yeah.
True.
So save like $25.
Prime day passed. We can't have to wait for the next one for her to get the waffle iron.
I have to say, Cuisinart actually sent me like a little waffle iron a few weeks ago, which was like one of my proudest moments was somehow managing to land on Cuisinart's radar and getting a little waffle iron. And
so it's like the Kelli, most fun. There is hope.
Kelli, just talk about it enough. Have Cuisinart send you a waffle iron at this point. But it is like the cutest little thing. It makes these little waffle things, little waffle fingers. And I'm like, I have to tell you, it's the most fun thing. Like, I actually don't know why she's not busting out her waffle iron more, because it's just so fun to put You put some batter in that thing, you close it up, you open it up 3 minutes later, and you've got a whole delicious waffle waiting for you. Like, why wouldn't you be just like putting that front and center in your life? Why are you not centering your waffle iron right now?
She's kind of pulling a Sonia Morgan, where it's like, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's not here yet. It's coming. Like, what is happening?
Yes. So anyway, so we hear about this like Stylist situation, and you know, Kelli is of the mindset of like, you just want to steal my life, which I feel like that's a bit much, I think, from Kelli. I think she's totally validated in saying like, I lent you like my team, like you'd use them and then you just took them without telling me. Theoretically, there's nothing wrong with that, but it feels weird just to do that, right? I mean, where do you guys stand on this whole Stylists beef that they have going on?
I kind of think that it's Kelli. If your team had such an allegiance to you, then this wouldn't even be a real argument.
There you go. There it is.
And from what I've seen online, they were saying that Kelli she wasn't really paying them. So I really wish that Brit was there to clock that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't like, I'm like, Kelli, not one person on that team has been like, no, I'm standing firm. Kelli pays me well. She takes care of me. I'm going to stay with her.
Even the Shaw Squad stayed around for a while, even after everything happened. Like there was some Shaw Squatters that were like, we're going down the ship. But like Kelli, like they did all turn on her. I think that, I mean, first of all, Brit, get your own people. I do think get your own people. Like that's your friend team. Like, or have a conversation. Like, can we go halvesies with them? They both work for both of us or something, but don't like, but also Kelli, pay your people too. Like, I think Kelli really is trying to like elevate herself by being like, she's trying to steal my life. I'm like, no one is stealing your life.
Nobody
no
is
one
stealing
wants
your
life right now.
Like, girl,
if you can't get a waffle iron, then we don't want that life. I want a life with waffles.
Like, I
waffle iron.
I may want her dog's life, but I don't want hers because that dog is being pampered.
That dog is being pampered, but not styled very well. Like that.
But if Kelli's team hopped over to Brit, do you think Brit would have paid?
Well, they said that Brit was paying. I don't know how long she would be able to sustain that with her shady. Yeah, I don't know.
The question: are they getting paid, but would they be fed at a Brit Eady event? That's the other question.
Oh well, absolutely not. We saw that.
Yeah.
How do you rent out the country club with nothing in it? Basically, like I don't understand.
Let me tell
pay for one table's worth of food.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
When you get to that level, let me tell you something about country clubs. They nickel and dime everything down to like whatever you're using, the table rental fees, the chairs. It is horrendous to throw parties at country clubs because they will get you for everything.
But when you're wealthy enough that you're like pretending to like browse for private planes, you don't care about the nickel and dimes at a country club.
Right. Like, girl,
so true.
Yeah.
As she should have had it in the church basement like everybody else. I'm sick of it.
As she donates like half a roll of generic like toilet paper to people in Grenada. So then they start saying how that at the beginning of the season, the newbies all got together and decided to have an alliance together to take down Porsha. And then, of course, the newbies are like, no, there was no alliance. And then Shamia even says, no, there was alliance, but Porsha was in the alliance. And then Porsha says, I was never part of alliance because alliances destroy shows, including this one in the past. I personally think that what happened was the newbies said, hey, we got to stick together because they're going to try to be like, Portia's probably going to try to be like, I own this. I'm not, I'm like that. You guys are freshmen. I'm the senior. And we have to be like, no, we deserve a spot too. I kind of feel like that was probably the vibe, but now it's been sort of distorted into like an alliance, like it's Survivor. Where do you guys think where do you guys think the truth is of this whole situation?
I think that there was for sure an alliance, but I'm not 100% sold that Porsha knew about it. Like, I feel like if Shamia would have said, yeah, there was an alliance, but I didn't feel comfortable joining an alliance without Porsha because that's been one of my best friends since I was a child, that fine, right? Like, I get it. Or if Shamia said, well, in my head, Porsha was a part of my alliance because that's been my best friend since I was a child, whatever. But I do believe that Porsha may have like said, no, I'm not going to join an alliance. It's my first season back. This kills shows and I'm not going to be a part of it. I could see that. Now, I don't know. I don't
understand. Like, the alliance with Porsha doesn't even make sense to me because I just am like, why who are you allying against? Maybe against Kenya, because Kenya was, she was sort of like a friend of any, I don't know. I think feel like something feels murky in here in this whole discussion of alliances.
I think you always assume that when will there ever be a full cast of newbies? Not full cast of newbies, but when have all the newbies transferred over to the next season? So I feel like they need to figure out, like, they're going to come for one of the new people, right? So if they align early and try and go against the bigger team, it's like, or try and get some leeway in before they start digging into you. Like, I don't know. It's just self-protection at that point. Because
by the way, the answer to your question,
make it.
By the way, answer to your question is Miami and New Jersey had newbies, had like a set of newbies that like were able to last actually a few seasons. Yeah, in Miami, when Miami came back, you had Dr. Nicole, you had Julia, you had Gertie, you had some others. They lasted. So,
regrettably,
it can happen.
still Julia.
Yeah, oh God, it's incredibly. Okay, so then Andy is basically like asking Kelli about her relationship with Brit, like where you were kind of like, you would stick up for her and everything. You helped, like, you backed her up, like, after Kenya did everything. And then, like, you guys have fallen apart and everything. And, asking her about that. And then he asked her about, like, when Brit said the abortion stuff, which was such a gross moment for Brit to do at that party. That was
so low.
It was really gross. But basically, Kelli says that, like, her stylist is the one, like, she didn't even have a conversation with Brit about abortions, and that it was her stylist who told Brit, which is even grosser too, because now this is something you've only heard through gossip, and then you like weaponize it on camera, which shouldn't even be anything to be weaponized in the first place, by the way. But so she talks about that and how, like, she also had her tubes tied so she couldn't even have babies if she wanted to, etc. And then Andy's asking if the women think it's strange that Kelli travels with a bodyguard everywhere, which I guess, I mean, I don't know the degree to how dangerous her ex is, but that actually becomes a discussion here, which is like, Porsha says, actually, I've heard that he's not even coming after her in the first place.
Yeah. How much is she paying the bodyguard? And is the bodyguard getting paid? Because if the glam squad's not getting paid, then what's
that comes up? She has a lot of expenses, and I don't understand why Kelli has all these expenses and isn't paying, like, her teams, because she's falling into the housewife trap big time. Like, she's going to be in real trouble.
Oh, yeah.
She just started. So she fell in by joining the show.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
She fell in by hearing that she may get on the show.
Yes.
Elevating her lifestyle to a point that was unsustainable. Like, we can see that this is unsustainable.
Yeah.
My anxiety would be through the roof if this was going on. I'd be like, oh my God, my house is going to fall apart.
Yeah, but a true housewife doesn't care. They're living in
they're like, fake it till you make it,
Yeah.
So Portia's like, well, I heard that the husband isn't even coming after her. Like, she's just probably saying that for the show. And they're like, well, how did you hear that? It was like, well, Brit said it. And like, well, how did Brit hear that? And Drew says that the husband reached out to Ralph. And then we see this clip of Ralph doing some sort of vlog. And he's wearing this t-shirt that says, call me daddy, like in the kitchen or something. Because I think he's probably not allowed to say call me daddy since, like, it's too close to call her daddy or whatever. Yeah. So he's there. He's like, hey, it's Ralph. So everyone, I just had the unique opportunity to run into Kelly's husband. And he told me how he ended up going and getting put in jail by Kelly. Like, who is tuning into Ralph to hear gossip about Kelly's husband? Who are these people that are like, guys, I would love to go out tonight, but Ralph has an exclusive. So
his live stream, I have to be home.
I have to watch his live stream from the basement. He just spoke to Kelly's ex. So
these are the same people that are going to Drew's shows at City Winery. You know, we never see a picture of the crowd. Do you realize that? We only see her on the stage.
It's an intimate event.
Yeah,
That's
very
what you say
intimate.
when
With
you
5
cancel it.
people.
An intimate exclusive event, you know?
Yes. When you cancel the tables.
Can't with her. I can't.
I really love that we've tapped in towards your distinct hate for Drew Sidor. I had no idea that you really hated her this much. But you know what? I support it. I totally support it.
I can't with her.
So then, Kelli starts saying how, like, well, like, I can't just get a restraining order in Georgia. It takes too much with this and that. And so Andy basically is like, okay, well, so what's going on with your waffle shop? Because you kind of started the season saying that you like have a waffle empire and we haven't seen anything, because she started that way. She's like, I have a cookbook. I have 45 restaurants. I've invented waffles and I'm going on Oprah next week. And you're like, really? And then nothing. We've seen nothing ever since.
Nothing.
Yeah.
She's a scammer. She's a scammer like Drew.
That being said, I believe that she can throw down in the kitchen. Like, if she said, I want to cook you breakfast, I would 100% be there. I think that she can do well. Although she clearly lost to Charles Oakley in the waffle cook-off at Williams-Sonoma, right?
Insane to me. Like, you're going to lose to a basketball player?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like, what is happening here? A man who cares about nothing. You're going to lose to him, and this is supposed to be your brand?
Yeah.
But he clearly can cook, because he's been cooking all season. Every time we see him, he's in the kitchen cooking food for who knows who. But like he does a lot. His big issue is that he got into a fight with Angela's in-laws about cleaning up the kitchen. So like he's very concerned with cooking. Like that's a big deal for him. So okay, all right. Well, Shamia, your bond with Kelli was getting tighter while her friendship with Brit was crumbling. Did you stir the pot and all that? And basically, yeah, Shamia's like, yeah, I'm not friends with Brit anymore either. Like I caught some strays, don't like her, not into her, whatever. So then now it's time, as we sort of come into the end of the reunion, we pivot to get to our cliffhanger, which is we're gonna have our big Angela Oakley segment. So we see everything with Angela. And it's funny because to me in the premiere episode, there was a huge amount of focus on the newbies, I should say Kelli and Brit and Shamia. Mm-hmm. And Angela was almost an afterthought. She like came to this like first party, her wig, like it was hot. She had to fix her wig and everything. But she was like, it felt like she was not going to be central. And then now she is like fan favorite. She's the one that feels like she's been there for 10 years and she feels like she'll be there for 10 more years. She feels like she's like immediately part of Bravo canon. And so I don't know where I was going with this. I just wanted to praise Angela. Guys, can we stop the podcast so I can talk about Angela?
I loved Angela. I really love Angela. I'm excited. I think that she's hysterical. She was the one I was watching the whole time and waiting for like the funny remarks from. I think she'd be great on The Traitors. I think she'd be hysterical on The Traitors.
Oh, honey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. Let's get her in another season and see what happens next.
How would Drew do on The Traitors?
Drew would be a traitor she would be like one of the first traitors out.
I would love to see Traitors where Drew is a traitor, just to watch her fumbling through her lies. Because she probably would like walk into the breakfast table and be like, well, good to see that you're all here. I mean, I knew you would be. And then be like, wait, how would you know? I mean, nothing. I'm an actress. I just say these things. I have a new album coming out. And then like, she's a traitor.
She just,
So Angela, speaking of investigating, Angela is here to talk about this guy, Marcus, this thirsty man that they found. And they're like, so why are you so certain that it was Phaedra sent this guy, Marcus, to infiltrate the group? And she's like, well, he told me it was Phaedra. She's like, but you never met this guy. She's like, no, never met, but he is from Athens, Georgia. And his aunt is a lady by the name of Kimberly Bleep. Kimberly Bleep drives a Kia. She gets it serviced on 3rd Street, right next to a post office. And I have it under good authority that Phaedra's cousin's friend often mails packages from there. So I think it's pretty much an open and closed case, right?
That is wild.
That fell so flat. For me, at least. I'm like, Angela.
We love you, Angela, but this is not a convincing argument. And then she pulls out a binder, because we knew that she didn't have the receipts on her phone. You know, Angela's going to be like, she's going to be analog. So she pulls out like this. She pulls out a one of those floppy binders, which is color coordinated. I like that she stuck with the theme of the reunion. She got a nice yellowish gold one. And she's like, here are my receipts, which is the receipt again is that Marcus's aunt, she says, went to high school with Phaedra and everything. And that therefore is the smoking gun, a flaming gun, if you will, an on fire gun that like Phaedra definitely sent Marcus. Who do you think sent Marcus? And I think there's only one correct answer, which is production, right?
Yeah,
for sure. And I think that it's so weird that we're stuck on this, right?
Yes.
Like we want Phaedra to be the bad guy so badly that it's like it almost does stick. Like at first I was like, oh, Phaedra, like you did this shit again, like you've been back for 10 days and here you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when you really sit with it, and then the fact that like he came out and he's been trying to do interviews with people and like talking to blogs, I'm like,
he reached out to us. Yeah.
No.
Is he someone's hairstylist and or makeup artist and or bodyguard? Is he any of the three criteria of the gossip train?
Maybe Kimberly Blanks, you know?
Yeah. Wait, he reached out to you guys?
He didn't. I probably shouldn't have even said anything because we like to be, we like to, no, I mean, I'll say it. I don't care. Like we like to, like what happens off the podcast. We don't want to be like, if someone emails us, we just air it out on here. But like his people, I just feel like his, like whatever, so thirsty. His people, like 2 or 3 days before the finale, were like, this is your chance to get an exclusive with Marcus to talk about what happened. We're only reaching out to you guys. Like, we don't care about Marcus. We don't care.
Pack it up.
It's wild.
Yeah. So I was like, you are no Cuisinart. Unless there's a waffle iron in the mix, we are not discussing this. Let's talk home appliances and then we'll see if you're on the podcast, okay?
Right.
That was unethical. I have a very unethical policy about being on this. And yes, Diamond and Andrew did pay me with Cuisinart materials. Like, here's your food processor.
Enjoy it. That juicer is just make sure you clean it. It is machine washable.
But yeah, I think Phaedra just doesn't have a motive to take down Angela. She doesn't know Angela enough. Like, just give Phaedra time and she'll do it on her own, but you don't have to push it. I think production pushed this and they told him to say Phaedra to start to get Phaedra into the mix because she's not in any sort of drama, and I think that's really all that this was. And Phaedra's like, what are you talking about? Like, this is crazy. She's like, I have like 4 siblings. Anyone could have gone to high school with them. This means nothing.
But don't you think that she also could have heard from production too that like the season's off to a slow start? We got 10 days to make this thing. Like, send Marcus, this random man, like, you got to have some type of through line to the group because otherwise it's not working.
Yeah.
That's
either way. There's something, there's some fakery afoot going on here. And whatever, Angela's going to make her attempt to call out Phaedra. It's going to flop, but she's one of those people where like, she tried, whatever, moving on. Whereas if it was Drew Sidora, would be like, she is so thirsty. She's trying to have a moment and she can't do it. She does not know what she's doing. She should be in the basement too. But with Angela, like, well, you know what? I love that she tried it. I love that she had the spirit to try it. Good for her.
And that binder was great. It was yellow, right?
The selection was wonderful. That was not a CVS binder. That was Staples. Okay. There was real money put into that prop.
I just think that, like, of all people, you decide to pick Phaedra, who should have learned her lesson from the reason why she got kicked off or put on pause. I don't know what you would call it, fired in the past. So it's like, I think Phaedra would have been almost too smart to like take the bait so soon. Like, I'm only going to be here for 10 days. I'm not going to allow you to do this to me. Maybe next season. Like, so early?
Yeah.
No, next season.
But now she has a definite link to get asked back, and Angela does as well. Again, I think there's some trickery at foot, but I think it like all adds up to where she gets invited back, which is all she probably wants. Angela has his plot line, so she's getting asked back for sure. Marcus maybe thinks that he's going to be a friend of, so he wants to keep milking
Marcus is a one and done. Marcus is like that guy who talked to Quad on the red carpet of that one season of Married to Medicine, who's like, I know for sure that Lisa's husband is gay. And like he came on to be messy and then like never seen again. Like that's just sometimes our lot in life as gays is to just appear on a Real Housewives season for like 3 episodes. You make a mess and then you're gone. It's like the psychic on Orange County that's like, I have a psychic prediction that Brooks is lying about his cancer. And then like there blows up the season and then is gone. Like that's sort of what we do, you know, and that's Marcus's part of that tradition.
On OC?
Oh, that's hysterical.
You know,
Andrew, you have so much to learn. So much to
I
learn
can't
to see.
I can't wait.
Oh, wow.
It reminds me of the guy Anthony, Drew's old quote unquote assistant.
Oh yeah,
Remember
right.
where he started the shit, and I was like, okay.
What about the party
you know.
planner who sued Candy and then went to Phaedra to get represented legally?
Oh my God, what was his name?
Bobby or something, or
Bobby.
I mean, it's just what we do. We come in. It's like we want like a moment, and we don't realize how disposable we are. We just we have a moment, and then they just discard us. And like Marcus, I think maybe Marcus thought he was going to stick, but I don't know if he's going to stick. Either way, we have we're at the cliffhanger is like this whole situation. Like, what's it gonna happen? Where's the lie? What, you know, it's a little embarrassing for Angela, but it's a fun note to end on. Yeah, she'll be back, and hopefully you guys will be back too.
Receipts?
Oh, I'll be back.
She did print some receipts.
Like, my question is, who is the one that sits down? Like, do you think she like sits down with her kids and she's like, okay, so I have an idea. I need a binder, but like, who puts the receipts together for them? Like, I want like a background into putting the receipt binder together, just with their line of thinking. Like, I want to break down. Like,
it's just her because everyone in that family acts like they don't know Angela, which is hilarious. Her daughter, her mother, her sister, her husband. Every time she comes around, they're like. And she's like, all right, I guess I'll have to make this binder of receipts myself. Printed out on her Apple IIgs. She's got the zigzag issues. It's like pinking shears.
You can't cut yourself. You can't cut yourself with them.
God bless. Well, thank you so much for you two. Remind everyone where they can find you on social media, both you two, and how they can listen to your show.
You can find me on socials at Andrew Pug. I'm only on Instagram.
Oh, and I'm at Diamond Sincere on Instagram, and I'm doing Threads now. Yeah. I'm trying.
Lord, baby Jesus, I'm staying away from that. But if you want to listen to Elvis Duran in the morning show, you can Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. or listen Elvis Duran on demand wherever you get your podcasts.
And you guys are nationally syndicated, so I don't care, listeners, if you're not in New York, because you can still listen to this iconic morning show that I used to listen to growing up in New York, because Elvis is a legend, a true legend.
Hell yeah.
So as are you two. So thank you so much for coming in to fill in for Ronnie. I don't know how we talked for 90 minutes about this reunion where nothing happened on this reunion, but like somehow we talked about it.
This was so fun. Thanks for having us.
I loved having you guys on for Love Island and for Atlanta. Everyone, please go listen to the morning show and follow them on Instagram. And thanks so much for being here. And we'll catch you soon enough. Bye, everyone.